Welcome home, neighbors.
Welcome home, neighbors.
Hello, neighbors.
We're listening from
Arizona,
Florida,
Maryland, New York, New Jersey,
Minneapolis,
California,
Utah,
Michigan,
Iowa, Massachusetts, Georgia, Canada,
our home resort is
Animal Kingdom,
Polynesia,
Bay Lake Tower,
Old Key West,
Riviera,
Boardwalk,
Alani Resort,
Boulder Ridge, Copper Creek,
Grand Floridian,
Saratoga Springs,
Beach Club,
and Wilderness Lodge.
and you're listening to
and you're listening
You're listening
to
my
Well, welcome home, everybody, and welcome to the March 22nd edition of My DVC Points Live, and we're doing our virtual community hall. So I would like to welcome back to the show our co-host, Samantha.
Hi.
How you doing tonight, Samantha?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, doing great. Doing great. We're going to come back in, and we're going to welcome back Alicia tonight, our regular co-host.
Hey, everybody from Michigan.
Hey. So, yes, it is a great night here in Michigan. And then also all the way from the island of Maui, our new co-host, Ken. How you doing tonight, Ken?
Hey, aloha. How's everybody tonight?
Oh, awesome.
Good.
So we'll start off the show as usual, and we'll ask everybody, what's your countdowns? Okay. When is everybody going home?
Yeah, I'm a couple weeks closer. I'm 35 weeks.
Oh, it's in weeks. Oh,
yeah.
I'm a couple days farther, unfortunately. So I rebooked my May trip for June. So now I'm at 71 days.
got it. Kenny?
Man, still currently no countdown. I'm going to have to get something on the books, though.
Dude, you're going to have to hop a flight over
anxious.
to Alani, okay?
I'm going to
have to pop
actually.
over there, right?
I was hoping to go check it out in July, but we'll see. I'll know for sure next week.
Well, our fancy little app tells me 62 days for me. So I'm 2 days away from the Fast Pass window, and we'll see, because that's a May 23rd arrival date, and it's up in the air. What do you guys think? Do you think the parks will be open here? Before we do that, let's come back in and hit some of these comments here. So Mark says hello from Buffalo. Scott says hello from Biloxi, Mississippi. And Mark's got 174 days on his countdown. And Scott's got 300 coming on his. And then the Wade family has 293. And you need a trip before 293 days there.
Yeah.
And the question is will we get our trips in? Okay. And Kenny, you've got some interesting news for us on Alani with an update there, right?
Yeah, I do. Unfortunately, the spread of the coronavirus just hasn't been stemmed. So it seemed like the last Disney resort that was kind of holding out was Aulani, and that is closing as of 5 p.m. local time on Tuesday. And the advisory is posted on the website. It's supposed to close through the end of March currently. And just so people understand, one of the big problems here in Hawaii is that they've had a lot of tourists coming. And so what the governor recently decided to do was enact a mandatory 14-day quarantine. So if you were to still try to travel to Hawaii and think, hey, it'd be great to just shelter in place in paradise, well, literally, that's all you would be doing. You would be required to stay at the location that you said that you were staying. And there's potentially a $5,000 fine, up to a year in jail for disregarding that. So I could kind of understand why Disney decided it was probably time to go ahead and close Aulani.
Especially if you're just going out to the beach and, here's a 5B bill for going out to the beach, man.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it's a really expensive tan. So currently, it's they said guests who had rooms booked from March 24th to the 31st will automatically be canceled. Change and cancellation fees will be waived through June 30th.
Yeah, oof. So that's an interesting deal. We'll pick that topic back up in a second, but also closing this week as well. Sam, you've got an update for us on Run Disney, right?
Yeah, so unfortunately for the runners in the group, the Rival Run Star Wars weekend has been canceled. So that was supposed to take place mid-April. So what that kind of tells me is there's a lot of first responder personnel that have to be on site for all the Disney races. So what that kind of says to me is they don't think maybe we're over the worst of it. So they don't want to take those people away from helping out at the hospitals and the centers that they work at. What it also says to me is that they're a little less optimistic about an April open. So I think what we're going to see at best is maybe a mid-April open, and I think we might be pushing ourselves into May. So for the other races, that may mean that more people from this race are going to book others like Wine and Dine, or closer to the end of the year, or maybe even into next January. But no Star Wars run this year, guys.
Yeah, no spring break run, nothing along those lines. So it's interesting because Mike makes a comment here that the Run Disney Virtual Series registration is opening up in 2 days. So if you are a runner, be sure to hop on that. And I don't think those typically sell out because it's a virtual event. So it's really just, I think they order the amount of medals that they need for everybody who signs up. But that's a really important fact. And I do think it is an indicator of what Disney's thinking for we're not going to be open then. I think that's kind of a harbinger or a predictor of that. And along those ideas, as Mary asked this question, she goes, do we really have any idea when we are really going home? It's so sad. And
Yeah.
honestly, I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping my May trip happens. I'm going to be online in 2 mornings booking my fast passes and just hoping and fingers crossed that the things die down and we get to go home. But if we don't get to go home, we don't get to go home. And the really good news is DVC has done some new policy changes, and this is kind of flipped and flopped. I've seen all kinds of posts this week in the community where people are saying, I wasn't able to put my banked points back. Yes, I was. And now there's something on their website saying if your resort stay is canceled because DVC canceled the stay, they will return your banked points back to you to the use year that they came from. So,
Yeah, doesn't that still mean though that if you had borrowed, banked your points and that use year is expired, doesn't that mean that you could still lose those points?
it does, because this is just saying for a reservation that they cancel, if you borrowed in points for it and they cancel the reservation because the resorts are closed, they'll put the points back.
Oh, so okay,
Right.
That makes sense.
However, if you've got banked points that are using and holding down a reservation, your time limits on those are still applying. And
Okay.
I think that's kind of a fair policy. And I really think people need to hear this out, because it's not like Disney can just pixie dust and create more inventory, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they've sold 50 million points out there in the DVC world, and that's how many points are in the economy, and we're down for a quarter of a year, okay, that's 12,500 points that didn't get to come out of the economy. And if they're giving everybody all of their points back and doing it, it's going to create a logjam and an inventory shortage sooner or later. So my prediction is, this is just a personal one, and this week on Wednesday, Joe Woofers is going to be joining me for a special edition live, and we're just going to cover nothing but DVC 101 stuff, the rules, banking, how you should understand, what goes on in the timeshare and what Disney can and can't do, and some things that are in our contract. So join us back Wednesday night for that one. Looking forward to that. But I do think it's a fairly fair policy that we've got going on so far with this. And I'm really excited to see how Disney does this. And I hope that people understand the realistic limitations that they're working with, because it sounds like they're trying to do the right thing and help members out.
Chad, you said something that kind of made me have another question, though. If the resorts are down for a quarter of a year, how is that going to impact our dues?
Well, they still have dues are based on actual resort expenses. So there could be some, hey, we didn't have to pay for cleanings as much. We didn't have to buy the soaps, whether they're the mini ones or the wall ones. There could be some reduced utility expenses in there. We
Sure.
could see some of that, but I really wouldn't be hoping for any kind of a kickback or reduction in dues because of this.
Okay.
Because they've also got to pay overtime and member services to start answering all of these phone calls and taking care of everybody who calls. And all of that just is more added expense as well. So what we're
Yeah.
saving in one area, we're losing in another. And
Good
I'm not hopeful for it, but I think that's a really great question.
Yeah.
I think that's
I think kind of our best case scenario is do stay about where they are now. Like maybe we don't see as big of an increase next year as we did this year, because the resorts were open all year last year. So maybe since there's this downtime, we won't see that rise where they are right now.
Yeah, absolutely. 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 So let's go to some of our comments here. And Mary comments as well. Yes, those using bank points are still going to have a problem. And Mark was just saying that, he said on one of the posts, and I don't think the person liked it, that they deleted their post after a bit of back and forth. Yeah, guys, always remember to be respectful. We don't really see this in the My DVC Points community group with people not being respectful, but some groups that are out there, you always want to be respectful of people, and they may not know. Okay, so that could be your opportunity to help them understand something and help things move forward that way. And I know our friend Andrew here comments that the policy is for borrowed points and not banked points. That's a key thing to remember. Banked points still have all the same rules in play. So if you banked them and your stay is near the end of your use year, they expire at the end of that use year. They're staying. But borrowed points, they're being a little bit more gracious on and letting you move those back to the use year that they came from. And Mary comments here, she goes, I do think that ultimately Disney will want people to be happy and will try to work with you if you are using points and can't be used in that time. So I do think they are trying to do the right thing. And I also realize they've got some constraints and some limitations that they can deal with. It's not just all pixie dust and it can all just go away. So that's kind of the reality of it. And Vicky makes this great comment here. She goes, at least no dues increases would be great if we're down for 3-4 months. So yeah, that would be awesome as well. And so Gonzo writes, hi, I have a contract at escrow, and if it passes ROFR, would you rescind the contract or keep it? So if you rescind that contract, you're going to lose your down payment. Okay. And you're just going to walk away from the down payment. So if you think you can buy a better deal on a contract, maybe, but you'd have to be really willing to get a great deal on that. I would still go through with it if I did, because I would have done my research shopping and said, this is something that I really want. But if you're willing to walk away from it all, just know whatever down payment you put, you're going to walk away from, which could be anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 from what you normally see there in the resale market.
And the market will come back. This is it's a hard time for Disney at all. Stocks, the parks, DVC, everywhere is having a little slump, but it's going to be a temporary slump. I mean, as my dad, he's 90, I went down there to go teach him how to do everything online this past week. And he said to everybody, stay home and buy stocks because everything's on sale. Yeah. So, and this might be the same case for DVC, things might, come down in price a little bit, or you might lose a little value in it, but it's a good time to buy if you have the availability to. Yeah,
that's what Nick was saying last week, was it's getting into a buyer's market. We're going to transition into that, and now would be a great time to come back in and start to look at those things. So that would absolutely positively be something that's really great. And so Caleb makes an interesting point here. He goes, I'm surprised how many people have big trips right before their use year ends. And that is the fundamental problem. And it's a topic we're going to talk about on Wednesday night. The last 3 months of your use year are kind of a danger red zone, especially if you've borrowed points into them, because you've just kind of doubled down in that danger zone. And the reason why is if you have to cancel the trip, even if it's 30 days out, those points stay in that use year and they're dying within 3 months. And availability within 3 months, usually pretty sketchy. There's times of the year it's not quite as bad, but then there's food and wine, Christmas, all of that stuff. If that's in your 3 month period, forget it. Yeah. So, and Sue makes this comment, could Disney purchase bank points, for a few dollars a point? They might have something like that, Sue, that they start to do, but if they purchase them, they would want to rent them out. And so they would need the inventory to do that. Okay. Because when you go on a cruise or when you go into one of their hotel rooms through that concierge program and you convert your vacation points to reservation points, they turn around and they book a DVC room and take it out of inventory. and then they put it up for sale and they tell all their travel agents, hey, we've got this inventory, guys, go sell it. And so that's what happens when you do that. So the inventory still has to be there and the points are still coming out of the economy whatsoever. So yeah, Mark makes this great comment. This is a big example why U-Share is so important. And I picked my U-Share because of when I usually travel. And that's a really great point. And Kenny and I actually have some business rules written for like a U-Share optimizer. And it's probably going to end up on our website or in the app. I don't know, maybe in a year or so, Kenny. We'll have to see where it fits in the priority scale. But if you tell us how likely you are to travel in each month, it'll statistically calculate how good that U-Share is for you and rank them. It's a pretty cool tool. I can put it up in the My DVC Points group as an Excel file if anybody wants to play with it until we get it into a little bit better place. But yeah, so that's a really, really, really good example, Mark, and why that research is really start to coming back in. And Matthew makes this comment here. I'm a longtime listener, first time commenter. Disney Talks makes me feel better during this time.
Oh, I love.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hey, we're all in the same boat, man.
We are all in the same boat, which is why I'm trying to handle this topic and move out of it quickly. Okay?
No.
Because it's like it's a downer topic and we don't really want to keep talking about this all night long. But it feels like there's so many posts out there and so many people are struggling with it. We just feel like we need to cover it.
And it does impact our day. Like it impacts what we're doing.
It does. I mean, you know, the great news is I am not stopping the podcast. I am bound and determined to do that. And normally I edit them on the weekends. And I've already got probably 30 hours of work in this weekend.
Yes, you're one of the ones that are still gets to go to work every day, right?
Well, work from home, but unfortunately, my day job is in kind of a mission critical support process behind some government work. And so there's some government services that need to run, and I got to do my job and make sure our people are out there serving people.
Oh, thanks for working.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome,
that's what I've been doing for the last few weeks. So if the show is a day or so late or the editing's not quite as up to snuff, that's the reason why this week. But it should be a great show. This week is going to be Greg from That Park Like podcast. And we had a great conversation recording. And then after we hit the stop button, we still had a great conversation for another 2 hours. And I wish I could have shared that with you guys as well. But yeah, so be looking forward to that. That episode will drop Wednesday. And Vicky will get the Excel file up there. And so let's see. And Mary's saying game, right? So I'm with you, Mary. I'm with you. We're just going to wrap this part up. And Mary says she's working at home too on payroll. And payroll people, we love you. Okay.
You're the rock stars right now.
You guys like
Payroll is also mission critical.
Yeah. Anytime somebody calls into the call center from payroll, you're like, okay, clear, step aside. What can I do to help you? Okay. I want on your good side, right? I definitely do that. And so let's see. We'll hit this one last comment here. And John writes in, U-Share is so hard to pick as travel needs or preferences change. This is why I think I need 2 U-Shares can be beneficial when you buy a second contract. And that's really a great point. If you're somebody who goes multiple times a year, having 2 different U-Shares will make sure you can always book a trip and never be in the last 3 months of the U-Share if you offset them by about 6 months. And that would be a really great strategy to do if you go multiple times a year. Now, if you're just going once a year, it kind of is what it is. So, but I'm a big fan of multiples. I only have 1 and I wish I had multiples just for that reason. So, and Mary goes, yes, my 300 librarians love payroll. And she goes, IT feels the same way about me, that she loves that. So yeah, we all love payroll.
300 librarians. That's fantastic.
So anyways, I think we've kind of covered this. We'll just ask the audience as well. And we'll go around the horn and ask this as well. When do you guys think, if you had to place a bet, when do you think the parks will reopen?
So everything that I'm hearing from a bunch of cast members that I interact with on Instagram is everyone seems to be thinking mid-April is kind of our best case scenario. And judging just from how things are here in New Jersey, a lot of our things are shut down, until mid-April, like a lot of schools and things like that. So I really think mid-April is kind of our best case scenario.
You think that's the best case scenario, most hopeful is mid-April?
Yeah.
Kenny, any kind of bets?
Well, being a big Star Wars fan, I'm going to say May the 4th is going to be our day. So, no, I don't think it's going to happen in April. I really don't. Just looking at the trajectory of things, all of the drastic measures that are being taken right now, it might take a couple of weeks for us to see that. And I think it'll take Disney, they'll have to see that trajectory change or the curve flattening out that we've all been talking about. Have to see that curve projected to flatten out, and I think that's when we'll see Disney make that decision. So right now, I think May. Mid-May, June.
I like May the 4th. I think that's funny.
I do too.
Bonus points for that. Nerd points for that one, Ken. Right?
Yeah.
I think that Disney is really, as a company worldwide, has stepped up, and said, "Hey, this is what we're going to do," and they've taken every precaution. So I don't think that they're going to jump the gun. I think that they're going to wait for the dust to settle and make sure that all teams are in place that need to have everything set in stone. So I think that they're probably going to open gradually some things, maybe open the resorts first, start with the restaurants, maybe, do the takeout kind of portion like most of the rest of the world is doing, or at least the United States is. And then the parks will probably open last. So I'm going to say I'm going to go with May 1st. But
okay, well, I think that's optimistic.
Yeah,
I am hoping that my May 23rd weekend, right before Memorial Day, is happening. Okay, so if that happens because I have a trip then, I would be extremely happy. I think anything before May 4th is not likely. I think it's iffy in May, and we could be into June or July. For the simple fact that the Asian parks have been down so long, and even with China saying, hey, we've kind of got this thing whipped at this point in time, they are still not opening up the Shanghai park. Okay.
Yes. But isn't like Hawaii, you're only closing for a week? So, I mean, that sounds optimistic.
Well, yeah. And that's
fishy,
the thing
though.
I don't understand. Exactly. Yeah. I can't imagine that it's only going to be a week. It feels like it's going to be into April because our cases have been kind of, exponentially growing. So, good point.
Yeah, so let's go through some of our listener comments here. So Andrew is thinking June, and Maria says end of May. Jen is June to July. I think that's sad, but probably realistic, okay? And Shannon's saying 8 weeks, 5-10-ish. So I think that would be really good. I'd be happy with that. I love Kane's optimism here at April 15th. So open it back up on the former tax day because taxes got postponed this year for 3 months. So that was kind of a good deal. May 15th from Caleb, Lynn saying July, and Justin saying May 29th because that's when he shows up. And Justin, if you're there, we'll have to meet someplace for a drink or a dessert because would love to meet you and hang out. And Vicky saying late June. And Ian his call is August. And I'm hoping August as well. I'd be happy. I could live with August. So I've got my cruise ship booked in August. We'll see if that happens or not. And Mary's
cruises might take a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, that could be. I think they're going to have to do some deep discounts on that one. So I'm looking. I didn't pay it off yet. I'm hoping to see that the price really drops down and I can just have them rebook it and apply the new discount. So Mary's saying June 1st for full capacity, and Ron's betting on mid-June. And Gina's hoping for mid-May. And by the way, that's Gina, our producer, everybody. So
we have a new Gelman. Yay.
Yes. Okay, you can. Here, let me take down the comment here. And so you can explain that comment here, okay? So we were typing this week, and everybody's starting to send me their ideas for what's going in the show. And I'm like, send it to Gina. And she's like, who's Gina? And I told her, right? So how did you relate this or put this together, Alicia?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm an old Regis and Kelly. Now it's Kelly and I can't remember what's name.
Ryan.
Kelly and Ryan. There we go. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, like we have our own, like Gelman now.
Yeah.
fun.
So this is Gina, our own Gelman, I guess. So anyways, we'll bring you on camera and say hi. So
The
Gina's
behind the scenes tech, right?
Yep. We still bring her on to say hi. So and thank her for all of her work on the show this week as well. So thanks, Gina. And so okay. So sorry, had to do that. Just had to do this. And Vicky saying that she hopes it's for Independence Day. Except Vicky, you're from the UK, so isn't that like espionage triage day or something like that? So, yeah. So Mark's saying mid-April, and Scott's saying June, and Carol's saying East Coast mid-May, West Coast end of May, beginning of June. Yeah, I think California could be a little bit more conservative than the rest of the country, and it's not looking as good over there either. It's really not. And Gonzo says, I'm hoping for May. And let's see, I'm almost caught up in the comments. So, and Vicky writes, Gina is for sure Gelman. And then Gina's getting some love here as well. So, and that's Vicky from California. Wrong Vicky. So, okay. So sorry about that. I know who that Vicky is. Anyway, so that's when everybody's thinking the parks are open. It'd be interesting to see. We can come back through the comments on this and see who's actually right and maybe do a gift card giveaway or something along those lines.
Nice.
Ooh, Bob Barker rules. Like closest without going over.
Yes.
Yeah,
Bob Barker rules. Okay.
I'm totally showing my age now.
Yep.
I know who that is. It's okay.
Yeah. And let me get this one in here as well. Sue was saying July, too many variables. Planes are grounded. People are still contagious. So that very well could be. So
I think the biggest thing though is once they find, like some medicine or something to help combat it. I mean, if anybody's watching from Mucinex, if they could make a pill that just they take and then everybody just like pukes it all out of them, that would make my day a lot easier. So that'd be great.
Believe me, if there was a pill, all of the pharmacies would be all over it, I'm sure. So,
right, that's all we need. I mean, like we don't need,
Yeah, well, I mean, when the parks open up are kind of a nice lead in to our next question. And this is what you have when you get a Gelman. You get a really cool combination of this discussion. So once the parks open up, what are you guys looking forward to the most? Okay, Samantha?
So for me, just being so in like Disney Instagram, I'm just waiting for the return of normalcy. Like everybody's in the parks taking new pictures. Everyone's got like a new treat, like a new outfit. I'm waiting for the new things to come back because right now everyone is kind of posting their backlog because nobody's in a park. So yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of true. I'm interested in some new news and new stuff to talk about other than closures. Okay, that's
bring us back up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, how do you like the new rides that are opening up? Let's get some more people on the Runaway Railroad. Okay, and let's start talking about that and the new desserts and the new treats and new photos of this was just taken with my kids and. People doing meetups that listen to the show in the community. I want to see all of that back. Okay. So Kenny, what about you?
For me, living so far away, I live through the vlogger community at Disney. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that first like live stream to see how crazy it is. Cause I know like when Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway opened up, there were people there like 4 a.m. And so, just kind of looking forward to seeing how crazy it is. And then of course the food, because what I think didn't Flower and Garden like literally just open when Disney decided to close. So didn't even really get to see all of the offerings for the food through the festival. So I'm always excited to just look at all the food that I can't eat because I'm so far away.
Yeah, good point. Alicia, what are you looking forward to?
So, I know it's probably a long way out, but I loved seeing like what is coming up next. So, I mean, I've been like kind of stalking Tron a bit and, seeing when that's going to come out. I want to see, the new Reflections Resort. I just like to see what they're building. What are they creating? How are they building? And also, I think it'll be interesting from a facility standpoint of how are they going to move forward from this? Like, are they going to treat their restaurants differently? Are they going to treat the lines differently? I'm interested in see how they're going to facilitate what's next. What's the new, the new normal, I guess. I learned from them.
Yeah, good point. And I'm looking forward to the streamers out there and the vloggers and all of that as well. And Caleb ties into it is really well because my kids do this all the time. He's interested in watching his kids' reactions at virtually everything. Because right now, if I pop out of the office this week or today, my little guy is sitting in the kitchen on the counter with the remote streaming YouTube videos of something in Disney. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're looking for new content as well. And I'm interested in seeing that with them as well. So that's a great comment there. And Mary's saying she's looking forward to just walking down Main Street. And Mike is saying Geyser Point Bar and Grill. I hear you, brother.
My fave.
Bring on the edamame, that barbecue chip and dip deal, and then the Northwest tea. Oh, that's my jam. That's my jam.
I didn't try
Reagan
the
and I
tea.
have a thing.
I didn't try that when I was there. Okay.
Yeah.
They have a soy cocktail that's really good.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and Maria says she's interested in how this is going to affect the crowds later in the year, that she goes in late August and the crowds are low, but she keeps seeing people rebooking for August and September. So, yeah, I think it's going to be slammed from a DVC perspective no matter what, because we've all got points that are use or lose, so we're going to be there.
Have to, yeah.
And I think sorry.
Go ahead.
I think just from the regular travel side, like not even the DVC side, I had a lot of clients who were supposed to go like March and April, and they're all pushing back to September, October. So those were usually the lower times, but I think we're going to see a lot more people in the parks then than we were used to before.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the thing there. Okay. And picking up some more comments. I hope they put Orangebird and Loungefly on Shop Disney, which would be the food or the flower and garden stuff. So yeah, it'd be great if they could start selling that stuff online and at least selling it there, because the festival is going to be over, and you're not going to be able to come down there for it. So at least they could move some product. Okay. And Sarah was saying that, oh my kid loved the new Mickey and Minnie ride. And Ron says, I never thought I'd say that, but I can't wait to see outrageous amounts of people again in the parks. And
Come with me. I go at Thanksgiving and Christmas. I'll show you.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
one big party.
And if you want to recreate that now, just go like rope drop Costco. Okay.
Exactly.
You can still see a 500 Q person right there at Costco, just rope dropping it, looking for toilet paper.
Paper.
So who would have thought? Okay. And Gina's saying she's looking forward to a California churro. And Justin asked, any words if construction is going faster with people with the parks closed? And actually they're slowing down. They're not having their workers work in this time. They're telling their workers to stay home as well and not gather, because I can imagine they probably got hundreds of people on a construction crew.
Yeah.
And so if you're limiting to gathering to 10 people, it's not like they can coordinate all of that and be remote from everybody and use social distancing.
Right.
So, and Sue was saying that Riviera, she was supposed to check out today. Oh, sorry about that, Sue. And Mark's saying he's looking forward to food and wine. Hopefully Epcot construction is all caught up. I think Epcot construction is going to be our life for the next 2 years. Okay. Mm-hmm. I don't see that going away. And I really, 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 really don't. So let's see. Deb writes, this will obviously have an effect when the new rides open. Sadly, maybe not in time for the anniversary celebration. So yeah, let's hope that they're done or reasonably done by then. And let's hope that they don't cancel anything as well because of financial reasons. They're probably losing $1 million a day. Okay.
I heard 20 million a day. I heard that figure somewhere.
Well, I guess worldwide it would be, because Magic Kingdom alone made about $1 million a day.
Okay.
So I guess worldwide, it's probably 20 million a day that they're losing. So
And also their movie sales, like they just brought out a new one, but now you can buy it instead of going to the movie theater, you can rent it like in the theater kind of mode at home on I think it's Amazon.
yeah, all
Yeah.
of the streaming services have it available for sale right now.
Yeah.
The Honored,
So
Yeah.
Yep. So I think I'm gonna when I get a chance, maybe we'll do a review of that movie next week if you guys want to join that conversation.
Yes.
So we'll do some spoiler alerts on that one. Okay. And Scott says he's looking forward to the new Space 2020 restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
so
almost done, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they were to the point where they had a chef and the chef quit and they got a new chef and then there were some more delays. So that thing was ready to roll. Okay. And Nicole was saying that it was her first trip. It was supposed to be in April, but we rescheduled for September. Oh, hopefully
I'm
they
glad
give you
you got
some.
in. That's
Yeah,
good.
hopefully
Yeah.
they give you some magic pixie dust though, and you can get that thing scheduled. Okay. And Patricia is saying that she misses family time. I live alone. I miss my family. FaceTime is nice, but it's not the same. You're absolutely right there, Patricia. There's something to be said about that quality family time in making that family adventure through those dangerous parks, right? We make it sound like it's some kind of a dangerous adventure, but it is a great family adventure as to what you're going to do. Okay.
And maybe planning your next Disney trip as a family, that'll help you get through these times too, of like, okay, when it is fast pass time, what do we want to go on? Where do we want to eat? What do we want to see?
Yep.
That
And
can
then Justin was saying here that the Poly bungalows are going to be booked solid. So it'll be nice seeing some lights on in those bungalows, Justin.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing the lights on in the bungalows there with you, buddy. So really, 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 really do. And Vicky says, I don't think anyone will mind the lines when we can go. I know I will cry when I finally get to the parks. And yeah, that is really, I'm looking forward to being around people again. Okay. I'm right there with you and Scott and everybody else. Okay.
So just on a question on the line kind of thing, do you think the Rise of the Resistance, how they do that, did that reduce the amount of time in a line?
Yes and no.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, is that going to be the new norm? Do you have to like go online and I don't know, right? I mean,
Because I don't know if it really solved the problem of crowd control because everyone was packed into the park first thing in the morning trying to get a boarding group. And then even though if people's boarding group was, later in number, everybody's still hanging out in the park. So I don't know if you really saw like people, like a lot of people leaving or coming in. So I don't know.
I felt like it made all the other rides have longer lines first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it packed the parks out and I think it was a horrible deal, but we'll save that for another comment. Okay. Yeah. But
I just didn't know if they did that for all rides, is what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? If every ride was like
I don't know.
Oh, gotcha.
instead of standing in line, you're in this like whole.
Oh,
virtual
everything
line.
a virtual queue? That wouldn't
Yeah.
work.
I
no.
think Guardians opening up could have some of that, and maybe some of that could be for the Neutron ride. I think those would be the next two biggest ones, but it's going to take a super, super, super biggie one to get that. But so,
Interesting.
yeah, Vicky makes this funny passage that Costco is the new flight of passage, and so it certainly is. It's the flight of toilet paper, I guess. It's, watching that stuff fly out of the pallets just whew, gone. If you've ever seen those on the news.
Well, it's more Smuggler's Run, right? 'Cause you're trying to steal out of toilet paper.
Trying to get out as fast as you can.
Yeah,
Exactly,
ooh.
yeah.
Kenny gets some like double bonus humor points tonight from the Star Wars.
It's all
geek
Star
club.
Wars, guys. It's all Star Wars.
Got it. So,
Yeah.
and Mary was saying that she's hearing some projects could be scrapped. I think that could be the case as well. I hope that doesn't happen. And so we'll have to see. And Caleb says his daughter's looking forward to Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railroad. And Sarah says, I wonder if this is going to reflect the new hotel, Star Wars and Reflections. We know their construction has halted at this point in time. But if, like Star Wars, they've already broken ground and pre-sold. So that one's going to get finished. Maybe they cut some things out of it to save some money.
No, please don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would break my heart.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's yeah. So that's kind of summarizing up what we think of these deals here, right? So, and we had such great comments tonight. I really thought this would take about half the amount of time that it did, but we're going to go through our next section because I think this is going to be a fun game, and I think this is going to be a hilarious amount of comments. Okay, so let me go ahead and take this down, and we are now transitioning over to our game called Buy It, Book It, or Boot It. Okay. Gina explained to me a California radio term for this that I'm not going to say in my family rated show, but we're essentially going to give you 3 resorts in a combination, and you have to buy one so that you own it. You can take another one and say, I would book a vacation there. And the last one, you're booted out the program. It's 2042 and you're gone. You're not renewed. So you can never go there again. Okay. So 3 resorts, buy it, book it, or boot it. And we have 5 rounds of this tonight. So we'll start the same way as we do all of the other ones. And we will come back in and we'll ask everybody on screen. And then we'll drop down and get some listener comments here. So the first one is the monorail edition. And Bay Lake Tower, Polynesian, or Grand Flow. What you buying, what you booking, and what are you booting? Samantha, you're up.
All right, so this one was the easier one to start with for me. So I'm going to buy a Polynesian because it has the longest contract out of the 3, and it's the one that I love the most. I'm going to book Bay Lake Tower because I want that theme park view. And sadly, I'm going to get a lot of hate mail from the Grand Flow folks because I'm going to boot Grand Floridian.
Okay. Kenny, what's it going to be?
So initially, I thought for sure I would buy a Polynesian, but I mean I kind of live here, so I'm gonna actually boot Polynesian, but I would buy at Bay Lake Tower and book at Grand Flow just to be contrarian.
Just to be contrarian.
But
okay?
for the record, the first contract I tried to buy was Polynesian. So, but my wife reminded me that we don't really need it. But no, but honestly, I would love to at least stay at Grand Flow once, and I would probably buy Bay Lake Tower just for the theme park views. Whereas with Polynesian, it's not really a requirement for me.
Got it. Alicia?
All right, so that's a toss-up because like you have 2 of my super faves in there, so that's a hard one. So I will probably buy at Bay Lake because that's the one my husband really wants, and it looks very shiny and sparkly, and I like the lounge up there. Polynesian would be where I would book because I have to book in a bungalow at some point in my life. I don't know when. But also that means I have to get rid of Grand Flow. But I love the live entertainment there so much. We go there every time. So that's a hard one.
Got it. Well, I actually own 2 out of these 3. So this was a pretty easy one for me. And I actually own the most points of any resort at Bay Lake. So I'm going to keep buying Bay Lake. I love the standard view rooms that are there. I love how well it rents. I love the cheap dues. I could go on and on and on about how much I love Bay Lake Tower. And there's still 40 years left to that contract. I also own Polynesian, so I'm going to book Polynesian because I kind of like it there when I need a studio. To me, it's a great resort for a studio, and like others, those bungalows are on my bucket list one of these days. If I can't get in any place else, I might go back like that one listener commented and fight for a bungalow. Okay. At least you could get one night there and your points aren't completely wasted. Okay.
Yes.
And so the one I'm booting is Grand Flow. And that's because I've stayed there once. It was a great resort, but I'm on the point cheap side. I like my standard view rooms for point stretching. And you even look at those point charts over at the Lakeview rooms and they are still pricey. Mm-hmm. So I will go there one more time with my kids because they will pester me until I take them. But other than that, I am not going back to Grand Flow. So that's my take. Let's see what some of you guys have to say. And
you guys made some enemies.
I'm telling you, the hate mail is going to be coming in, right? The hate mail is going to be coming in. Okay. So Sarah here says she's going to buy Polly and book book BLT, okay, but boot Grand Flow. So, okay,
like
I'm with
Sarah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So Vicky says she's going to buy Polly, book BLT, boot Grand Flow. So that's 3 strikes against Grand Flow, right? Okay. And I think this comment was directed at you. So if you're keeping score there, Sam. Okay. And Wendy says, "Bye BLT. Yay, book Polly, boot Grand Flow." Ah, that's one for me. Okay. And Tiffany says, "Bye Polly, book BLT, boot Grand Flow."
Smart woman, Tiffany.
Oh, man, the Grand Flow is just not faring well. So Mary says, "Bye Grand Flow because it's hard to book BLT, too many points, and boot Polly because there's nothing more than studios and bungalows." So fair enough.
I'll
Fair
give you
enough.
that.
Yep. So Ron says, "Bye Polly, book Bay Lake, and boot Grand Flow." So I think that's another one for you, Samantha. And here's another one in the Samantha camp.
Yay!
Okay.
Jeez.
I'm doing really good so far.
Yeah. And our buddy Nick here just says the Grand Flow has got to go. So I think I get half a point for that one at least. Okay. And Justin's saying, "Bye Grand Flow, book Polly, and boot BLT." So, and Sue here writes in, "Bye BLT, book Grand Flow, and boot Polly." So there's another
Yeah, that's
one
one for me.
Okay, so that's one for you. So I think I got like
Finally.
2 points compared to like Sam's 8 or 10. So
Right.
we'll have to start to see. Man, I got a lot of comments on this one. We are just lighting it up tonight. Our buddy Andrew says BLT equals buy and book. And he's gonna. You can't do that, Andrew. That's cheating.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Okay.
Hey, man.
Yeah. And Michelle says buy grand so I can rent it for bank. Ooh, keeping my alliteration going. Extra points for you, Michelle. And then book Bay Lake for the view and boot Polly because it's only studios. So,
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
and John asked, "Can I save my boot on this round and double up and boot on both?" Oh.
I feel
Then there's-
personally attacked, John.
Then there's fighting words. Okay, so you get 2. You -2 for that one, Sam, as you're keeping score. Okay. And Nick says he stayed a night at the bungalows and they're amazing. Oh, and Justin gives me a boo too. So, oh, okay. And Andrew comes back in. Polly is a flop house and too expensive. And if you own Grand Flow, you can stay in a standard view. That you can, but it's still expensive. Still expensive. Okay. Let's see here. And Gonzo says, buy Grand Flow, book Polly, boot BLT. And Rob's saying, buy Bay Lake, book Polly, because he already owns there, and boot Grand Flow. That's another point for me. Okay. Jen saying, buy Bay Lake, book Polly, boot Grand Flow. Another point for me. And Mike just keeps it simple. Team Sam. He says, buy BLT, book Polly, boot Grand Flow. And yes, she stayed at all 3. So have I. It's another point for Chad. And Sam again, Team Sam.
Man.
I'm not cheap. I stretch points.
Yeah, Team Sam for the win. And Vicky, yes, you need to go back and listen to episode 19 and you'll get Andrew in his Flophouse comment. Okay. And Justin says John Morales for the win. So, okay. And then Mary says, I should be able to book Grand Flow. Then it's 7 months since. Oh, she says because we're all hating on it so much. She should be able to book it.
Yeah.
But we're booting it. It's out of the system. It's
Listen,
not here.
I want
right?
it to change my mind. Change my mind.
Okay, and she says, love Justin. So let's move on to the next round here. Okay. So Epcot Resorts, Beach Club, Boardwalk, and Riviera. Okay, Sam, or you want to go first again? Should I rotate it?
I'll go first. This was hard. This was like the Sophie's choice for me. So I'm gonna buy Boardwalk because it reminds me the most of home. book at Beach Club because aesthetically I love it the most, and I'm gonna boot Riviera. So I'm sorry.
Why? Okay.
I'm gonna boot Riviera just because it's a beautiful resort. It's gorgeous. Haven't seen it in person yet, but on Instagram it looks great. But for me, there's just too many dings against it, like resale, and there's just too much. So I'm sorry, Riviera owners. I still love you all, not your resort. And it's too expensive. It's a Grand Flow in a non-Grand Flow location.
Yeah, that's true. So Kenny, what are you doing here?
So I'm gonna buy Riviera because it's brand new and shiny, and I like shiny things. I am going to book at Beach Club, and I'm gonna boot Boardwalk solely for the clown pool.
Oh, creepy clown!
I said it, and I mean it.
It's a DVC rite of passage, Kenny.
It is. You cannot claim to be a DVC kid that you grew up DVC if you didn't go down creepy clown at least once.
I didn't.
So, oh man,
Yeah.
Alicia, what do you got going on here?
I know. So it's pretty funny. So I think I would probably buy at Beach Club. I would stay at Riviera, and I would boot Boardwalk. But only because, like, you know, the Riviera, like, it was really cool when we went there, and I would be like, this would really be fun to stay here. You know, I like the location of the gondolas. I think that's really, really cool, and it's going to be a big thing. But the Beach Club, that one is also a great location. I would love to buy there. That's one of those pools that I've like sniffed in. You know, I'm like, oh, I want into that pool, and I've never been able to get into that pool because I haven't ever stayed there. They lock that pool down. You can't get in. and Boardwalk is great, but we've been there, and I've only been to the Boardwalk during the day, so I don't think I get it. Right? I don't think I get the whole like draw of the Boardwalk yet. But yeah.
Oh, it's great nightlife. It really is.
So, you know, sometime, you know.
And you're like the party girl too, so I don't get that one.
I'm a day drinker.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm like that. Sit by the pool, have a couple cocktails. By 9 o'clock, you're done.
Listen, I'll give you a Jersey Shore walk through the lobby, and you will have a new appreciation for the Boardwalk.
I'm gonna need it. Yeah.
This one to me was like extremely difficult because I really, really, really like all three resorts, but sometimes you just got to come in and make some hard decisions. And so I'm going to come back in, and I'm probably going to own Riviera. Okay. Because I'm dealing with the restrictions. I'm working through it. I'm looking at it going, okay, I'll get my money back out of it sooner or later. And I really, really, really like the Skyliner. And I'd really like the cheap point view rooms there, and I'm not getting them there as a non-owner. So the 2042 on Beach Club, I love the pool. That's the one I'm going to book. And as much as I love me some creepy clown slide, if I got to pick between the two, I did pick, and I picked to own Beach Club, and Riviera wasn't out at the time. So I did not pick Boardwalk. So I'm going to stay consistent with those values because that's what makes sense to me. So I'm going to buy Riviera. I'm going to book Beach Club. And sorry, Boardwalk. I can't even say what I got to do to you, buddy. So, it's unspeakable.
And you are a creepy clown lover. So
I am. I kind of dig the creepy clown slide. So
Maybe you can move that slide to Riviera. Just like relocate it.
They got a pretty cool water slide there, though. It's pretty cool.
I have. So let's come back in through some of the comments here. So Michelle says, buy Beach, book Riviera, and boot Boardwalk because the clown gives her nightmares.
Point.
And Wendy says, buy Beach, book Boardwalk, boot Riviera.
Oh, almost.
Yep. And so Ron comes in and says, buy Boardwalk, book Yacht Club. Okay. And boot Riviera. So that's, you guys
I'm going to count that as a point for me. They're sister resorts.
Okay. Okay. So Justin says, buy Riviera, book Beach Club, and boot Boardwalk. And are we on direct points? Yes, we are. Okay, Justin. Yes, we are. So that's a really good question in there because that's a new one. Okay, but Justin is now Team Chad on this round. Thank you very much, Justin. So just had to point that one out. And Andrew says he's going to buy Beach Club, buy Boardwalk, and boot Riviera. You can't do that. And I'm not even going to throw your comments up there if you don't.
Andy's making his own rules. Like,
so grumpy old man king coming out, right?
It's
So
leprechaun
Vicky-
season.
Yeah. Vicky says she's going to buy Riviera, book Beach Club, and boot Boardwalk. So that's another Team Chad point. Okay. Mary says buy Beach Club because it's her home, book Riviera because it looks amazing, and boot Boardwalk. So,
Woohoo.
yep. So I think that one is what? That one is Team Alicia there.
Yep.
So Justin gives you another boo, right? And Sue says buy Beach Club. That's her home resort. And she's going to book Riviera and boot Boardwalk because she hates the parking. And oh my gosh, did she nail that one? That parking at Boardwalk is something else.
Oh.
And now he's going that Kenny is smart this time, right? Vicky is Team Kenny. And Vicky's going the West Coasters. So Justin Murray, let me see where I'm at. I lost my. The clown slide is better than the Beach Club Villas pool slide.
ooh, that's a hot take.
Yeah, there's something to be said for creepy clown now. Okay,
Sounds memorable.
It's-
It's memorable.
it is.
It
It
sounds
is.
like you never forget it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's there when you close your eyes, and yeah.
So Tiffany says she owns Beach Club, so it's a buy over and over again. Book Riviera because she likes fancy, and boot Boardwalk because of the clown pool. So Caleb, buy Riviera, Skyliner in 50 years, boot Boardwalk, and book Boardwalk and boot Beach Club because he can never get in there anyways. And I could see that, but buy Riviera, book Beach Club, boot Boardwalk, no more clown. Scott is Team Chad. And Sarah says this one's a toughie. We're a young family, so we like longer contracts. She's going to buy Boardwalk, stay Riviera, and boot Beach Club because they're not big pool people. And Mike saying buy Beach, book Board, buy Riviera. And I guess it's a different buy. Instead of B-U-I, it's
Bye-bye.
B-Y-E. Okay, I had to think about that one as I said it. So, and Rob's saying he's going to buy Beach Club, book Boardwalk, and boot Riviera. So, I that one was an option as well. I almost picked that. So, and Sarah says she wants to stay at all of them, but not buy. Okay. Yeah, I could see that point as well. And then John saying buy Boardwalk. It's been his home since 1999. Book Beach Club so that he can be even closer to Epcot. And boot Riviera because I don't want to be stuck on the Skyliner and have to use the emergency kits. So,
But
well,
there's
John, I
Johnny-
like you again.
but you know what? I wonder if people are rating those things to get the toilet paper bags, right? Because bad host. And Amy says she'd buy Beach Club, book Riviera, and boot Boardwalk. Okay. And yes, thank you, Justin. I have finally redeemed myself, at least for this round. Okay. 3 more strikes coming at me, though. We'll see if I can hold on to it. And Amy says, I really hate Boardwalk, just like Grand Flow. I still love them when I stayed there. So there we go. And
I mean, there isn't a bad resort, you know.
yeah, Mary
Love them
says,
all.
I ain't sliding out of a creepy clown mouth. Okay. And Nick says Beach Club over everything. That is my favorite resort that's there. Okay. And we'll go on from that one. So round 3. Okay. Gina, cue it on up. So now we're going to the beach resorts. And we've got Alani, Vero, and Hilton Head. What are you going to buy? What are you going to book? And what are you going to boot? So, Samantha?
So I'm going to buy Vero. I'm going to book Alani because I so want to go to Hawaii. And I'm going to boot Hilton Head just because Vero is a lot closer to Disney World than Hilton Head. So I could make it that land and sea vacation.
Okay. Kenny, what you got going on?
Man, that's a tough one. I think so if we do this in terms of purchase power or value, I'm going to buy Aulani, right? Because you can get that for $100 a point.
Or less.
Less actually. And I will, I think Vero, I'd book at Vero, and then I just boot Hilton Head. There's no
There you
desire.
go.
I'm close. I'm gonna buy at Alani because that's on the list for Drew's graduation. That's what he wants to do. So, might as well go there a lot, right? And then I'm going to stay at Hilton Head because I'm a golfer, and that sounds like fun. And
Okay.
I'm gonna boot Vero because I'm a West Coast person and not an East Coast person. Sounds funny.
Okay. So, well, I am without a doubt. This one was like not even a question for me. This one was so easy. I'm buying Alani because that pool looks amazing. That ocean looks amazing. Being able to go and hang out with Kenny sounds awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So Alani, hands down, I'm buying it. And that cheap $90-something a point you're going to see right now, or even lower if this becomes a softer market. So our friends over at DVC Resale Market are telling me that now's a great time to be scooping up some Alani. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to book Vero because I love the ocean and I want to be on the ocean and looking at the ocean. And I'm going to boot Hilton Head because I hate being on marshes. Okay. And the actual resort where you stay is kind of overlooking a swamp. I will give you a full review within the next year because between now and June of 2021, I have hopes on staying at all of them if they're open. And Lord willing, and the creek don't rise and the virus don't break out. Okay. That's my choices. So let's start to come back in and see what some of you guys have to say here. Oh, and Vicky comes in, buy Alani, book Vero, book Hilton Head. I think that's team Kenny and Chad, right? Right? Am I right there?
She didn't
Is
boot
she saying
anything.
double book? Yeah, she didn't boot.
She didn't boot anything.
Vicky, you're going Andrew on me. Okay.
Everybody's making their own rules. Round 3.
Right.
Yeah. So Mike is buy Vero, book Alani, and boot Hilton.
One for me.
So, and Michelle says buy Vero, book Hilton, and boot Alani.
Ooh, I'm going to take that personal.
I'm telling you. Ian's with me on the road trip to hang with Kenny. He's going to book Hilton and boot Vero, though.
No, because that's me. So he's going golfing with me.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Wendy is going to buy Vero, book Hilton Head, and boot Alani because it's too far. And Justin does an abstain, so I get a pass. I lose no points with Justin as long as he's abstaining. So let's see how Andrew cheats this round. He's going to buy Alani, book Alani, and boot everything else. Yeah, there's Andrew's cheats. Samantha just says, or Mary says, Team Samantha. And Ron says, buy Alani, book Hero, boot Vero. I'm losing it.
It's me.
Justin says, if resale, then buy Alani, stay Vero, and boot Hilton Head. So I think that is a team Kenny and Chad as well, because I would definitely be buying Alani on resale. Definitely. Not even a question. So buy Alani, we love it, and book Vero and boot Hilton Head. And she says she owns it, but she's not happy with it. So that's another team, Chad and Kenny. Okay. And Mary says, is this Kenny App Kenny? This is Kenny App Kenny in person.
Yay.
So there we go. And is Kenny on the benefits list? So I think he might come hang with us. So
What's the benefits list?
yeah, I wasn't going to go there because
okay.
that just,
Fill me in
that-
later.
that could just like go into like a dark, deep, we a family rated show here. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I wasn't going to go there, right? So Rob says, buy Vero, book Alani, and boot Hilton Head. And he vetted us through his wife, and they're in consensus. Well, I'm glad to know that, your wife is still on, or you're on team wife there, Rob. Okay.
I count that as 2 for me because it's 2 people.
There you go. And John says, don't lie. Y'all are buying these to book at WDW at the 7 months. So, yeah, for the most part. Yep. I'm not going to lie. That's true. But I would love the standard view rooms over at Alani. So, and Tiffany says, buy Alani. You need 11 months to really plan and get a great flight and good point values. Book it Vero. for the turtle walks and boot Hilton Head because it's meh. Right? Well said, Team Kenny and Chad on that one.
There we go.
And so Scott Schilling, also Team Kenny and Chad on this one. And Justin says he hasn't stayed at Hilton Head yet, but those point charts look intriguing. And he has stayed at Vero and enjoyed it for a few nights. And Alani is definitely on the bucket list. So, yeah, I keep looking to go, man, could I like pop into Hilton Head for one of those like 6 point a night seasons? And I can never, ever make it happen. So Jen is saying she's going to buy Alani, book Vero, and boot Hilton, which is Team Kenny and Chad. Gonzo, Team Chad, and then Justin says, what is Kenny app? That Kenny is the developer for the My DVC Points app that if soon as I can get some free time and get the marketing material up on, we're ready to hit the publish on. So that's where we're at on that. And if Kenny doesn't kill me in the process. So,
well, I can't get on a plane right now. So
yeah, that's true. So that's
your
positives.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Andrew makes his other grumpy old man comment. Hilton Head is like a retirement community. Let's see how many listeners you can really isolate, Andrew.
I fit right in. That's where I vacation to the most is, to retirement communities. I think they're so relaxing. The best cocktail hours.
Gotcha. Gina, can you cue up the next one for us? So this is the point stretcher category. And Saratoga, Old Key West, or Kidani. So buy it, book it, or boot it. Samantha, what are you doing?
So I own an Old Key West, and I would buy it over and over and over again because I love it so much and can't beat the direct 2057 expiration date. I'm going to book a Kidani because you can see animals when you wake up in the morning. And I'm sorry, Saratoga, but I'm going to have to give you the boot. So
I'm telling you, I don't know if Marianne's watching tonight or not. But
I'm so sorry, Marianne. I love
like,
you as a person, just not Saratoga.
I was gonna say it ain't gonna be pretty when she's listens to this podcast on the we have a podcast version of this available in the Patreon group. So when she sees that,
I'll get some angry text messages.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be pretty. Okay, so Kenny, what are you doing here?
All right, so I'm gonna buy a Kidani just because access to Sanaa, right? You're gonna want the quick access to Sanaa. I'll book. I guess, man, because honestly, I would boot both of these resorts. I have zero desire to stay at either Saratoga or Old Key West. However, if I have to pick, I believe it was Saratoga that was just recently refurbished, which means that it probably no longer has the smell of wet hay.
So was Old Key West.
Is Old Key West also?
Yes. All done.
I would
not in process.
I would book it Old Key West, and I'm going to boot Saratoga.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm going to get some booze for sure, but that's okay. I'm fine with it.
That's okay. That's okay. And Alicia, where you at?
All right. So as the golfer, right? So we did enjoy Old Key West this past time. And we were looking into it. We were like, what do we do? So, I mean, I would probably, I want to say I would probably buy at Old Key West. And then I liked the boat transportation to down, to Disney Springs and things like that. Saratoga, I would probably stay there. And just because I do like the whole nightlife and being close to the golf courses. And I'd probably boot Kidani because I don't ever go there. I think it's too far away. It feels like it's an hour to get to any place, and it's just.
Alicia hates animals. Everybody,
I was gonna say, like, the Alicia hate mail is gonna be real.
Strong words.
I know, but I go for it. Like, I don't know. I'm so. Who knows, right? I'll probably stay there soon, but yeah.
On this one, I have sold a Kidani contract, and it is the biggest regret that I have had as a DVC member. Okay. So, and my wife would kill me if I did not go with buy Kidani. Okay. And our next favorite here is Old Key West. So I'm going to book Old Key West. And even though I own Saratoga and I love my cheap network Saratoga points that I love using at Old Key West and Kidani and Alani and all over the network, I'm going to have to boot it. So that's where I'm at on that one is we're going to buy Kidani, we're going to book Old Key West, and we're going to boot Saratoga. So let's start to see what some people have to say here. And so Justin just cuts straight to the point here. Boo Sam again. Okay.
All right, Justin, me and you need to like meet up and have a drink or something because I feel like I have to explain my choices.
And Wendy's saying buy Kidani, book Saratoga, and boot Old Key West. So man. And Mary says buy Kidani, also her home resort, book Old Key West, and boot SSR all the way. So Team Chad on that one. And Andrew comes back in and I got to just start reading his, okay? So I'm not even going to read that because that's an offensive language there. So he is going to buy Kidani, book Old Key West, and boot Saratoga, okay?
Isn't Saratoga one of the cheapies?
I want to
there in
hang
the
out with
world?
Andrew.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it sounded desirable to me because, I mean, it's like, it's like a nickel compared to everything else that's a quarter,
Yeah, and Mary just nails it. Kidani is so amazing, so much to do, and so beautiful. And Ron says he's going to buy Saratoga,
Ooh.
book Old Key West, and boot Kidani. Now, that has to be an extreme value-orientated guy, okay?
Hey, I get you. I get you. That's what we're doing here.
Right? So, yeah, you're Team Alicia. So,
Close, yeah.
Maureen's a golfer, okay?
Yes.
And Vicky says she's going to buy Saratoga because she's personally waiting on it to pass Rofer. And, we're waiting to see how that comes out. And she's going to book Old Key West because she loves being near the springs, and boot Kidani because they're still jumbo. Well, I did divide them up, okay? I thought about putting them together, but I thought, there's too much into that. So Mike here says he's Team Chad as well. He's going to buy Kidani, book Old Key West, and boot Saratoga. And Tina comes in and says that she owns Animal Kingdom and Old Key West. And Animal Kingdom now has lower dues, so let's buy that, book Old Key West, and boot Saratoga. That is a Team Chad boat. Okay, so Carol says she's going to buy SSR, love it, and own. She's going to book Old Key West because she loves the room size, and boot Animal Kingdom because it's dark, dank, albeit Animal View, and again, I own. So, okay, so then you're at least saying you're owning, but you're playing by the rules, so I'll give you that one, unlike some people here. Caleb says he's going to buy Saratoga for the value, book Kidani, Sanaa, and Savannah View, and boot Old Key West. So,
Caleb, we need to have a talk.
Justin saying buy SSR, a pure value play, book Kidani, and boot Old Key West. And he says he stayed at Old Key West last summer, and if you don't have a car, that resort sucks. That is an issue there.
Yeah.
True that.
I will give you that.
So
I took the bus once. That was a long hour.
and Michelle is saying here, buy Kidani because you can, use it at the 11-month over at Jumbo for club and value as a bonus. She's going to book Old Key West. She loves the gurgling suitcase as my boardwalk bar, and boot Saratoga. So I'm with you with that, Michelle. That's another Team Chad vote. So another Team Chad vote here from Amy. And they own Kidani, book Old Key West, cheap points, and boot Saratoga. And then Scott here, we kind of parted ways, buddy. So she's going to buy Kidani, book Saratoga, and boot Old Key West. Man, them room sizes.
It was nice.
Justin points out that Kidani hallways never end. Yes, I know. I was in the second from the last building at my last stay.
Ooh.
It was a brutal hoof. Okay. And Rob says, Team Chad, he's going to buy Kidani, book Old Key West, boot Saratoga. And Tiffany, buy Kidani because I would occasionally do the club level, book Saratoga for the spa, community hall, and Great Point stretcher. And boot Olivia's, but still somehow figure out how to keep Olivia's. Boot Old Key West, but keep Olivia's.
I love Olivia's. I ate there every
So
meal.
Good. So good.
Yeah. And Andrew's saying, I need to get back on these lives. Tonight is a lot of fun. Dude, bring your grumpy old man cane and show up, okay? Like, and Vicky's saying she's Team Ron, okay? And we stayed at SSR once, and my husband and I hated it, and she didn't care for it either. So Ron was saying that he loves golf, and that's why he voted that way. So that makes sense.
He gets
so
me. Yeah, he gets me.
And you know what? We should keep score next time we do this.
We should.
We should.
Gelman. Gelman? What's our score? We have somebody for that now. We've got people.
I was doing really good at the beginning.
Oh, this kills. This kills, Justin. No longer Team Chad. So, and Caleb says that I've rented a car there one time at Old Key West. Was terrible with 2 strollers and hour-long bus rides.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It's a little rough.
and Justin says they should give you Segways at Kadani's if you're at the end, and refilling mugs is pointless because, yes, they're empty by the time you get back to your room. So, yep. And Vicky says Alicia is the same as Kelly Ripa. There you go. So,
Well, one of my life goals is to teach Kelly Ripa how to golf. So if anybody knows her, tell her that, I want to teach her to golf.
so there you go. So, okay, so let's move on to the next round here, Gina. So, and this is the final round here, I think. It's the Peter Dominic edition round. And if you don't know, Peter Dominic was the architect for all 3 of these resorts. Okay, so Grand Californian, Wilderness Lodge, Copper Creek Side, okay, and Jumbo House. So we split this one this way just to throw it in there so you guys could get your Jumbo action in there and put all of your club level stuff on that. So Alicia, what are you doing? We'll start off with you this time.
I bet you could guess mine, right? All right, so I'm going to stay, or I'm going to buy at Copper Creek because it's my uber favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we are going to stay at Jumbo. I know, so I'm trying to redeem myself with the whole animal thing, but only because I have the chance to stay at Grand Cal, and I'm not even going to stay there. Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, there's not a lot of perks on staying on property when you go to California. So, there you go. I'll book Grand Cal.
Ooh, oh, man. Man, Kenny, what you doing here, buddy?
All right. So keep in mind that my home resort is Copper Creek. However, I'm going to buy at Grand Cal, rent out those points so I can use that money to rent cheaper points and stay at the cabins at Copper Creek. So I'm going to buy Grand Cal, book Copper Creek, and I'm going to boot Jumbo.
There you go. Okay, Samantha?
I am Team Kenny, so I'm going to buy at Grand Cal because you can't stay there really unless you own there, or you got to win the lottery. I'm going to book at Copper Creek, which I'm actually staying at in June, so I'm so excited. And
Nice.
I'm going to give Jumbo the boot because I kept Kadani, so you still get to see the animals, and it's easier to
There
get
you go.
into.
This is true. So I'm not far from that one as well. I'm going to buy Grand Cal. I'm going to book Copper Creek and stay at boot Jumbo for the simple fact that I like Kadani better. So if I had to kill one of the 2 resorts, I am Team Kadani all the way. And I love that extra bathroom. I love the space. I love parking underneath. There's so much I love about Kadani that I kept. So Jumbo, you're out. Okay. And so we'll start off with the Justin vote here. He goes, Sam has finally redeemed herself. Okay. And Kenny is a genius. So y'all are getting some pretty high compliments here. Okay. I just had to lead with those. Okay. Okay. And let's see. So Justin's saying he's going to buy Grand Cal, stay Copper Creek, boot Jumbo. And I think, what was that? That was Team Chad, Team Kenny, Team Samantha as well,
Sam,
right?
yeah.
Alicia's on an island. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all good. I can book out a lot easier.
And Mike is saying buy Copper Creek. That's his home. Book Jumbo and boot Grand Cal. He's
See,
obviously
Mike's got me. There we go.
he's obviously a WDW person. Okay. And then Ron is saying he's with the three of us, buy Grand Cal, book Copper Creek, boot Jumbo, and Justin's saying no perks at Grand Cal. You get early morning magic hours. So you get 1 hour early into one of the two parks every day. But that's it. Okay. There's no 60-day fast pass window. There's no nothing. Okay. And when you talk about staying on property for that 1 hour, where you could stay off property and spend $80 to $100 for a dirt cheap place, or $150 for a decent Hilton versus $400 or $500 a night to stay on property.
Free breakfast off property too.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of it. It's you're paying a premium there. And anyway, so Scott says he's going to buy Copper Creek since he already owns there and it's his favorite. Book Jumbo for the club level. Ooh, now that's a good play. That is a really good play. And then boot Grand Cal, which makes me sad.
Yay.
So
Makes Alicia happy.
yep.
He gets me.
And Wendy says she's going to buy Jumbo, stay at Copper Creek, and book Grand Cal. So, and I guess you can't do that, Wendy.
You can't do
Like,
that. No.
Yeah, you can't do that. So Michelle says she's going to buy Grand Cal because otherwise you're at the Holiday Inn. Book Copper Creek because it's amazing, and boot Jumbo. That's the team three of us. So, okay.
I am a little nervous about not staying on property there because I wonder if you'll lose some of that whole immersive Disney feel. But
Yes.
Yeah, maybe. It's so Vicky says this one is hard because Grand Cal causes real points rental pains. Copper Creek Cabins and boot Jumbo. She's team Kenny and Sam, and the heck with me. Okay. So
She might have written it before you put your vote in, so it's okay.
Yeah. So, okay. So Justin saying that I did good too. Okay. So I get the sympathy vote on that one. And Carol writes, they all look alike with Sequoia. Is that
Yeah, I think
Sequoia?
she meant Sequoia.
Okay. And she's going to buy Jumbo for the value, book Grand Cal, and then boot Copper Creek. The kitchen is not functional and the living room is small. And I do agree with you on that one. I'm keeping it to book the cabins. Okay. And
the cabins are swanky.
yep. Tiffany says Chad for the win. And Caleb says buy Jumbo, value rooms and club, book Copper Creek, and boot Grand Cal because he'll stay at the tower.
He's planning ahead.
I like
Yep. And Ian says buy Copper Creek, book Jumbo, and boot Cal. And yeah, Andrew, we just didn't even bring up Boulder Ridge in this one. 5 rounds was quite a bit, and we knew we would go along with this. So we have. This is a long show tonight. So Wendy's saying she's going to boot Grand Cal, too far. And
Has Wendy heard of airplanes? Was she the one who said that Albany was too far as well?
yeah, well, and
In
Jen
today's
says,
market.
yep, Jen is the team three of us. And Justin says, was being sarcastic, the perk is that your room is 5 minutes from Grizzly Run. That, my friend, is awesome. And if you can get the theme park view at the upper levels, that is just awesome looking out over Pixar Pier. So yes. So, and Carol says, walk into the park from Grand California to California Adventure and can walk through easier to Disneyland rather than the other lines to enter. That is very, very, very true. And I think Scott sums it all up with the true add-on itis is coming through here. That is the ultimate add-on itis symptom. And he says, can I just buy them all for the win? And I think that's a little bit of what I've been doing. And man, I got to stop that. So,
Scott must sell toilet paper.
Yeah.
Good.
So anyways, let's come back in and wrap things up tonight. So that's about all that I had. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. And let's get rid of this banner if we can. Oh, there we go. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. And thank you, Gina, for finding that. And we'll be back Wednesday, maybe Thursday, if I'm editing on the podcast. Greg from that Park Life podcast will be my guest this week. And I hope to start recording the Alani next weekend so it can start to air soon. So that's my goal. I might have to put in a different episode in there in the meantime, but that's where we're at with that. Hopefully we've got the app coming out. We can get Kenny's great work in front of the entire world of Apple users. And then about a week or so after that, we'll get you over to the Google Play Store. And so that's what I've got this week. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Kennedy. And let's come back in and thank you to our Gelman Gina as well. On behalf of the My DVC Points Live Community Hall team, thank you guys and have a great night.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.